Sigma Male Diaries Podcast. Let's get on with it, y'all.
Let's go. We can relax, have fun, get a good laugh, get information, and enjoy the show.
I mean to do what it do, baby.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and you already know who it is. This is your host, Nigel McKnight of Sigma Male Diaries. Thanks for the love, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the support. And remember to follow me on my podcast platforms, as well as subscribe and follow, and feel free to comment on my YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to be talking about men. Just men in general, their actions. Some of these men, what are their purpose, their desire, and or destiny. A lot of men feel as if they can save the community or the world of us Africans in America by way of, let's say, trying to rationalize supremacy, slavery, and or political injustice. You have a lot of men who will post things, they will say things, they will try to collaterally attack another man from having a different perspective. See, there are men out there with different types of sophistication, intelligence. They have different ways of leadership, conducting their leadership, and also these men choose the society of people that they are willing to reach out to. It's not something that necessarily has to be done by that or those particular individuals if and when people decide to be accountable of their actions from the things that they do. Be accountable for yourself. Be responsible for yourself. See, a lot of men have this savior mentality, and they will sacrifice a lot of their energy, time, attention, effort, and financial resources in doing so. Now, how is leadership implemented in the African American community? It's implemented by having knowledge, the men and women trusting you in your community, within your community, in its society. They look up to you as someone that is a leader, of course, and they do believe that the things that you bring forth are in fact the issues that are at hand that need to be resolved. Now, you need conflict in order to have a resolution. And without a resolution, you're not going to solve any form or type of conflict. A lot of people are at conflict. They are at war with themselves. But yet and still, they will try to lead a whole nother group of people. Now, what problems does that cause? Number one, confusion. Number two, being misled. Number three, the outcome and results are not what you're going to get that you were looking for. You're not going to get the intended outcomes and results. Why? You don't have no followers, no listeners, and you don't have anyone that's willing to invest their attention, time, and energy, effort, or financial resources as well, just as you are, to become one unit. Unity. Do we have that in the African American community? Leadership, men. Are men respected in the African American community? Are men emasculated? Or are men allowed to lead? Do women in the African American community respect the men that are, let's say, financially less structured than they are? See, it's a lot of men who are willing to take a woman and build a woman up, see. But a lot of women have in their mind, they are stricken with fear that if they were to build a man up, that man would leave her and go on about his business and be with someone else. Now, this is why that happens. Number one, when a woman is in the process of, when a woman is in the process of building a man, number one, that man is told what to do, how to do it. Okay? Number two, that man isn't going to be respected. I don't care what that woman says. And number three, she is not going to submit to that man. So if she's not going to submit to that man, she's not going to respect that man. She's not going to allow that man to lead. She's not going to allow that man to be in his rightful, natural role as a man. The reason why I bring up these issues so much is because a lot of women and men look at each other and they blame one another. See, they don't look for a root, they don't look for a solution to the root of the problem. It's bigger than just you going out meeting somebody and then they are being malicious, or they're being disrespectful, or they cheating, they're not being loyal, they're not being faithful, they have commitment issues. But think about it. You were attracted to this person, so you moved based on your emotions. Okay? A lot of men and women are filled with all types of negative emotions. And I look at it from this perspective as a man. It's not about love, it's not about feelings, it's about outcomes and results. So in the African American community, the men are emasculated a whole lot. So when you deal with emasculation, you deal with disrespect, you deal with a whole bunch of toxicity, dysfunctional shit. You deal with a whole bunch of things that you shouldn't deal with as a man. Women are supposed to be a man's piece, but now women are looking for men to be their piece because they took on, let's say, the leadership role. I'm not going to say masculine role because women can never be masculine. Like I said, they will adopt a trait because they feel that's what's needed to maintain order and structure in their household because they've chosen to do it alone, see? Or they chosen the wrong man to lay down with and have children with. They chosen that path. So it's no one's fault but their own. I understand a lot of people say the system. The reason why you can only say that is because that's all that you are aware of. But what is the system? Is it supremacist? Is it racist? Is it the KKK? Or the white liners? Huh? Or is it something that stems far beyond your comprehension of what's really happening in society pertaining to the Constitution of the United States, pertaining to slavery, freedom, and racial injustice and or equality? That's what this is really about. See, a lot of men can't really get to the root of the problem because, see, they're allowing themselves to come at it from an emotional perspective rather than using logic. Think about it. We all are people that are quite capable of making our own choices. There's nothing wrong with a person deciding to fend for themselves, stand up for themselves, and or protect themselves. But how many people are actually capable of doing so? See, you have a lot of people that's worried about keeping up with the Joneses, impressing other people, seeking validation, acceptance, people that has the need to be wanted or feel needed. See, and people are competing for this shit. Men and women. You know, they clout chasing. They scamming people. They doing everything possible to whereas they will always benefit and be on top. See, the thing is this. A lot of people aren't used to making sacrifices in the African American community for the greater good. They are willing to make sacrifices for themselves, things that will solely benefit them and or just their families and or children. And I say that because it's a lot of single parents out here. Okay? So when you look at this whole context of equality, racism, supremacy, When you look at it from the political agendas, the laws, them oppressing black people and taking away the dignity that we did, the dignity that we do have, saying that you're less than. See, a lot of people like to put it as if I'm attacking black women or I'm attacking simps and/or beta males. It's not the fact that I'm attacking them. It's a sense of self-awareness. People don't even reevaluate themselves or self-evaluate. They rather just point the finger at someone else and say, hey, you're the reason for this. You caused that. If you didn't do this, then this or that wouldn't have transpired or happened. Why are so many people just stuck on themselves, thinking that whatever they're doing is just enough? Or whatever they are doing is just enough? For themselves, though. It's not to benefit the society, their communities, the world. It's nothing like that. These people are fighting to keep their necks above water. They're not concerned about what's going on in someone else's life. And you also have to take into consideration of the livelihood and lifestyle of these said people. Just think about it. Look how they move. Look how they talk about you. Look at the things they post on social media. The things they do. Huh? Why should people be held accountable for someone else's actions when that person has clearly made a choice on their own, using their own rationale, their own logic, their own self-truths, their own subjective truths, objective truths, whatever it is? It could be a combination of both, but that will mean that it will, basically equate to being crazy or dealing with everything in the act of lunacy, right? So when you have these men that's trying to come out here and step up for the community, 9 times out of 10, they're like, well, they not going to do nothing. Martin Luther King wasn't able to do it. They assassinated him. They did this, they did that. But see, as long as you have people that have a certain method of thinking, you will not be able to reach those people. It doesn't matter how hard you try. Yeah. Reach one, teach one. That's what we say. But are the people in our community reachable? Are they teachable? Are they willing? Are they cooperative enough? Are they going to submit to your leadership? Are they going to sacrifice a certain portion of their lives, though, to adhere to the overall concept of unity? I had a guy tell me today in my inbox, and I know he's going to watch this video and hear this, and I don't speak indirectly to anyone, but I am very direct on what I say and what I mean. It's not so much about me putting black women down based upon what I said in Roe v. Wade being overturned. See, I'm a black man. You know what I mean? And my thing is this. Being a part of, well, I am African, but I am in America, though. But, I don't discriminate against African Americans. I don't discriminate against blacks. I don't care who you are, where you from. What I'm saying is this: you respect me, I respect you. I just return energy. I don't play the games. I'm not with the fuckery. But what I'm saying is I will make a conscious decision on cutting your ass the fuck off. Because it's about peace. It's about understanding. It's about respect, standards, and boundaries. That's what life consists of. But see, a lot of people have these desires, these fairy tales, these how can I say it? They're living in la la land. Because when you try to reach out to a group of selfish people, regardless to what race they are, you're going to be at some form of conflict with those people because, see, now you're changing the way that, the way that they live. You're altering the things that they are accustomed to. They're not willing to make a sacrifice to no degree because it's always about them and what they want and or need, specifically the things that they desire that they can't obtain on their own. So, in order to understand these things, you have to be a part of a family dynamic that has leadership structure, which is a mother and a father. Whether it's a stepfather, your mother married another guy, whatever the case was, he's a stepdad, or she's in a relationship with the guy. Hopefully it works out and it's not another guy coming in 3 to 6 months later, but it is what it is. A lot of men and women don't like when I speak the truth, because a lot of men aren't used to men speaking up, saying anything, because a lot of men voices aren't and weren't respected. But a lot of men are tired of the fuckery and everything that's going on. Women talking down on them. You know what I mean? They trying to put all these standards and expectations on a man. It's like what a man is, naturally, it isn't enough. It's always something else that has to be added to it to make that man more valuable. And that's why it's important. See, a lot of people lose focus on themselves because they're concerned about structuring someone else's life. In order for a man to be successful, he has to invest in himself and make himself valuable first, primarily. And then once that man reaches that goal, then that man can venture out into the world and be seen and or heard, because people will then at that point respect him, the things that he do, the things that he says, his efforts, and all that stuff will be appreciated. See, in order for us to obtain this whole unity thing, we have to establish it first in our households. And 80% of our households are ran by women. Okay? They are ran by women who are overvaluing themselves, who are in fact emasculating men, don't respect men. Okay, won't allow a man to lead. As I said, a man has to have so much. Then you deal with selective and conditional femininity. Only way there will be a certain type of way for a man if. They will allow a man to lead if. They will trust the man only if. It's too conditional. So when you have to walk into a situation and you have to deal with conditions, by them being so selective on their needs, wants, and their desires, you're going to always have that problem. You have to be, representing rational, logical people. People that are willing to make sacrifices. People that know that it's not always about them. Like I said, I had a guy try to say that the things that I say can be debunked. No, they can't. You can try to debunk it with your self-truth, because the women in our community, 80% of the women are single mothers. Okay, these women are in fact not allowing a man to lead, like I said. So trying to reach out to a certain or specific group of women, you're only going to reach just so many of them. Okay, and yes, I understand that would be a starting point. But you have all these other women who will still in return stand these other, you have the feminists, okay? Keep that in mind. A feminist is not going to follow a man at all. None whatsoever. You understand what I'm saying? So when you look at this whole foundation of unity and bringing people together, you have to look at the type of people that you're talking to. The things that I say cannot be debunked, because the truth is the truth. I never said anything false a day in my life on any of my talks, indoor podcasts, my YouTube videos either, because that's not who I am. I don't speak off of a self-truth. I speak on logic. I'm a very rational, intelligent person. Trust me when I say this. You know what I mean? But see, I understand how people are capable of being. I understand those things. So I know when and where to utilize my time, attention, effort, and possible financial resources when it comes to other people outside of my legacy. Only thing you can debunk is the things that you thought in theory that were in fact unpolitically incorrect. And what I mean by unpolitically, what I mean by you taking your own self-truth. There's nothing objective about that. And you addressing things to society within its laws, its culture, its heritage, its foundation, its establishment. Those things are all done by way of political agendas. Everything is voted into for a person to do something, take advantage of something. For example, you can't just walk up on an empty lot and just build a house. See, there's a law. You will have to get in touch with the county to see who owns that actual lot. If not, you're going to be punished by the law to whatever extent. That's political. Okay? Now, before you even try to contest anything that I say, take a look at your own life, though. Were you raised by your mother, your father? Were you raised by both parents? Okay, and if you were raised just by your mother, then you understand what the fuck I'm talking about with all this emasculation. It's a lot of men that are still being told what to do by their mothers, and these are grown-ass men. You still have 35-year-old men, their mothers, hey, come over here, I need you to do something for me. I can't do it right now, mama. I'm kind of busy, me and my wife, like, we going through something right now. Well, I understand that, but right now I need you. I'm your mother. Like, you hear these type of things. Okay? It's the entitlement, them feeling deserving, and it's a whole lot of things, all these expectations of your sons and everything, man, your children, your daughters, even. So when you deal with this whole concept of needy women, women that are void, okay, women that are lacking so much to even be desirable to a man, you telling me that you're going to reach out to these women and they're going to all of a sudden find value in themselves, within themselves, to say, hey, you know what? He's right. Let me allow that man to take leadership over my life, even though I don't know him. I'm still going to trust in what he's saying. That is, he's thinking the right thing, saying the right thing, doing the right thing. Just let me hop on board with that. Do you think it's just that motherfucking simple and easy? Huh? It's not the fact that I'm downplaying the situation or that I'm speaking down on our people. I'm telling you, we see this shit every day. They are highly competitive, okay? They are competing with men to be independent from men, to move like men, to live like men. We already have equal rights within society, all the other stuff. They can vote, they can get jobs, they can start businesses, okay. But see, they want equality within the position of a man and a woman. So if a woman wants to be a boss chick or boss babe, you think she's going to allow you to lead her into some type of reform within our community, bro? No, she's not. Or she's going to say, shit, I don't need no man. My dad wasn't even around. Even my dad don't even tell me what to do. I don't even listen to my father. You think you're going to be very successful with that? Good luck. Because see, I value my time. A lot of men may not. But this is the thing. If women were to allow men to lead, as I keep saying, our society will be a whole lot better within its community. There's no other way around this. You can blame whoever you want to blame, the system, supremacy, racism, but what the fuck does it have to do with what you got going on in your house, with your neighbor, around the corner, where you can walk to people and have a face-to-face fucking conversation, huh? Yeah. See, you people always talk about this whole unity thing, but I don't see none of you people on Channel 8 News, Channel 10 News, Fox News, CNN. I'm talking about these men that's posting on Facebook, yeah, this, that, and the third, this is no, but see, you're not being anything of value to your community. You're just talking. It's a big motherfucking difference. You're just talking. You can say who the hell what is going to reach who in whatever time frame, but guess what? That's subjective as well. You don't know the end result of that. But you can go ahead and take the risk. You sure can. Keep taking a risk. Keep doing you. Be responsible for the things you do. Don't worry about what other men do and or say. That's not your problem. Do what you want to do. And whatever you do is your business. No one has to comply. No one has to adhere. No one has to agree. No one has to be willing. We all have a choice. And once you understand what I'm saying about choices, long as people got them, then that's just a choice you're going to have to take. Because at the end of the day, that's on you. I know what accountability is. I know what purpose means, value. I know what worth is. I understand boundaries and standards. I know life. Ladies and gentlemen, this will conclude my show. And this is your host, Nigel McKnight of Sigma Male Diaries. Some of you might like what I say, but then again, some of you might not. But I don't give a fuck. And I really don't. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, y'all stay safe and be blessed. But I know.
Yo, Franco, here we go.